Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Becoming a Powerhouse Brand. I've got the lovely Katie Colella on today, and we're going to talk all about her journey into what it is that she does now, and also to talk about that one thing that everybody wants to know more about, and that is the lovely Facebook ads and how that can help your business and boost your visibility. So, Katie, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me, Jackie. It's fun to be here.
Could you tell us a bit about your journey, how you've got into doing what it is that you do now?
Yeah, short version by accident, long version, or slightly longer version. I won't keep you on too long. But I started in business when I was 18, so quite young. So I was a little bit different to many people. I didn't really have the big kind of corporate, which a lot of people that go into entrepreneurship kind of go into corporate first. I had my first business at 18, sold that at 21, went into employment for a few years in my early 20s, and then was like bored of that quite quickly. So decided to start working for myself again, doing lots of different things. So product-based, service-based, online, in person, kind of you name it, I've done it.
Yeah.
And then my last business I started from scratch, probably around 10 years ago now. My timeline is awful in my brain. Probably about 10 years ago, built that up from nothing to, a good thriving kind of business in product, and then sold that, kind of started falling out of love with that one, sold that one, and then decided actually they've got to be an easier way, because I wanted more of the freedom and flexibility around working for myself, which all the other businesses didn't give me. So I feel
Yeah.
like they were all kind of building me up for this part of the business. And I'm now a Facebook ads manager. I'm business mentor and business strategist, and I have all the freedom and flexibility now that I kind of love. So I kind of feel that all of those other businesses have come together to where I am now. And I'm really passionate about helping other business owners, predominantly women in predominantly service-based businesses, grow their list, get more leads, get more sales in their business to help them scale and thrive. So yeah, love it.
Love it. So how do Facebook ads help? Because you see all these ads pop out all the time. You
Mhm.
just have to go on Facebook, don't you? And you see adverts
Yep.
for all these things that link to what it is that you've been searching for pop up, and then you just think, yep, someone's definitely spying on me because they seem to know what it is that I want, and these adverts are coming up. Like, how can that work for your business?
Predominantly, with especially service-based, first and foremost, I think everybody needs an email list. And it's one of the things that I find business owners come to me and kind of say, I wish I'd started sooner.
Yeah.
And it's certainly one of the things I advise, is to start building that email list pretty early on in your business journey. Like for me, it should be one of the first things you start doing, because what happens is a lot of people kind of exhaust that low-hanging fruit, if you like, and
Yeah.
then they haven't been concentrating on bringing new people into your funnel, into your world. And then it's like, oh, okay, I've got nothing, I've got nobody, and then it's a struggle. There's absolutely a place for organic. Facebook ads don't replace that. They complement, they go together. It's just one strategy in amongst your whole business strategy that I absolutely recommend to help grow that list. And that's how most people start off with it, is to help grow that email list.
Yeah.
And getting your freebie, your name, your face, your voice in front of people is so important. Like, we are in an era of business at the moment. People just need more touch points all the time. They're taking longer to make decisions.
Yeah.
So the
They need to
more of
build
us
that
we can
trust, don't
show,
they?
yeah, they really do. And I think the last 18 months, that's been heightened more than ever. So yeah, I think to kind of get you in front of people, more awareness for your brand. And like I said, build that email list, and then to get more people in your challenges, on your masterclasses. And again, all more and more touch points. And then for like launching and things, when you're opening doors to programs, you can retarget people. So they're really, really powerful. But I will say, huge caveat, they're not a magic wand. So many people, I think, come in with almost a reliance on immediately kind of bringing this huge, not necessarily huge success overnight, but a return on financial investment immediately. And it
Yeah.
isn't necessarily the case. They can take time and patience and learning and testing. Sometimes they can go gold, absolutely, but they're not a magic wand. So
Yeah.
yeah, I always kind of make sure I get that in.
Yeah. So when it comes to if you're someone that's just like looking to start doing Facebook ads,
Mhm.
realistically, because like you say, a lot of people just assume that, oh, well, this seems to be working really well for this person or this particular business. I'm going
Yeah,
to do it because I'm going to get the same kind of results. And like you say, there's a lot of testing involved, isn't there?
yeah.
So how long, like, is there sort of a average amount of time that it can take in
Mhm.
terms of the testing, or
Mhm.
does it depend on business to business?
Yeah. Kind of two sides to that. Yes, it depends on industry, on budget is a big one, because if you've got a bigger budget, you can get the results back quicker. You got that data back quicker. You can then use that data to make data-driven decisions, to make other decisions, to optimize and so forth. If you're dealing with a very small budget, obviously it's going to take longer to get that data back
Yeah.
to be able to make decisions going forward. So that's one kind of part of it, I would say, that's really important. Different industries can take different testing. I work with lots of different business owners in all different industries. And so, again, not necessarily about the budget, but I've got some clients that can come in like £1 a lead, some that might be £8 a lead, and they're hugely different. So
Yeah.
it's really difficult to gauge and give people an idea. I can give an idea around just based on experience and industry and so forth, but I can't predict. I haven't
Yeah.
got this crystal ball. So I kind of try and educate as I go and give people some indication, but I'm really careful not to make any guarantees. But yeah, it goes back a lot of the time to the budget. As an ads manager, and again, this goes back to if I was managing it, and most ads managers will say to people, we recommend 3 months to be able to get data, test what is and isn't working, to be able to go forward. It's not set in stone, but that's kind of a good indicator, I would say, to see what is and isn't working. And where people make mistakes is they often boost a post, which isn't really running an ad correctly. And then they might chuck, say, £50 at it, and they say, oh, ads don't work for me. And I'm like, okay, well, what did you do? And they say, well, I boosted this for £50. I'm like, okay, I don't know what you were expecting from that, because there was no real strategy around it. There
Yeah.
was no real objective around it. And if you haven't got that, what can you really expect? So yeah, it's setting out with intention of what you want to achieve. And 95% of people want to grow their list first and foremost,
Yeah.
is kind of where most of us are heading. So
Yeah.
yeah, getting that objective
Talking,
right.
talking about the boosted posts, because I see
Hmm.
this all the time. Like you see
Hmm.
businesses that are boosting posts, and then you see anybody that works in ads or marketing that is like, do not, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't boost your posts. It's a waste of money. What are your kind of thoughts on boosted posts? I know you kind of touched on it just a bit then.
Yeah, I mean, I never say never about anything. Things are always evolving, and Facebook
Yeah.
ads is they're changing constantly. But the options you get on a boost are nowhere near what you can do behind the scenes in True Ads Manager.
Yeah.
It literally is like a percentage of what you can do, and the objectives and the data and the targeting and the audience and the creatives and everything else. So I do deem it a bit of a waste of money.
Yeah.
It's how I started off. I taught myself about ads in my previous business. Um, and that's how I started. And then I kind of learned how to do them properly and had much more success. So I would say, if you're not at the point of being able to outsource ads, or you find something like that really interesting, you want to learn for yourself, go and get a course where you get taught properly to use them.
Yeah.
There's plenty, I've got a low cost, and there's plenty of other low cost courses out there where you can educate yourself properly and correctly to get the right results,
Yeah.
or get the best results, I should say, for your budget.
Okay, what would be if you were someone that was looking to get started with ads, if you've got maybe a launch that you're planning,
Mhm.
or like you say, you want to just grow your mailing list and you want to really push out your free guide or masterclass or whatever it is, what would be the very first thing you'd recommend somebody do? Would it be best to kind of learn how to do it yourself, or watch some guides, or
Mhm.
invest in working with someone that can do it for you? Obviously, I guess that's a lot of budget dependent, but what would be
Yeah.
the sort of ideal scenario?
Personally, for me, I sit kind of probably low to mid range in terms of what I charge and who the clients that I work with. And I say to clients all the time, if you've got less than £500 budget a month, I recommend getting the course and
Yeah.
educating yourself and getting in the trenches and doing that for yourself. If and when you grow and scale and you've got that budget and you can afford, then at that stage, and you want to outsource and have that marketing budget in an ads manager and the ad spend on top, then you at that stage you can outsource. Or if it's just something that isn't your zone of genius and you're really hating it, for some people, they're not necessarily wanting to spend loads of money, but at the same time, it's so bamboozling to them, because it can be quite techie when you go in,
Yeah.
if you don't know where to start. That actually it's time and sanity well spent paying someone else to do it for them, and
Yeah.
especially then when they start to see results.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's kind of the cutoff I give, and it goes back to budget again a little bit. But some people love learning, some people love implementing and following instructions, some people just absolutely hate it.
Yeah. But I guess I think it's one of those things that until you've done it, you don't know what is going to work. And I suppose with the
Yeah.
test, it might take a little bit longer. But I think once you've nailed it, and you've figured out what works really well for you, like your audience is just going to grow so much quicker than
Yeah.
relying. I think it's so easy now, isn't it, to just rely on Instagram and just being
Yeah.
visible on there. But then because there's so many other people on there doing the same thing,
Mhm.
it's harder to then stand out.
Yeah, it is. And it's, I mean, ads, they're not going anywhere. You know, they're still growing. I've been doing TikTok ads this week for a client, and trying to expand in different ways as well, on different platforms. They're not going
Yeah,
anywhere. They're only going to continue. And there was an announcement recently from Meta. It seems to be going more pay to play more than ever in terms of the organic, you know, with this, I don't know if you've seen it, the tiered
yeah,
verification, business verification. And a lot of us have been paying kind of 11.99, is it, per platform for a
yeah,
little while. And some of those upper tiers were really expensive. And then you think, well, you're paying to do that organically going forward. That's how it seems. So are you better off doing the ads? You know,
yeah.
for me, I just think this, again, it's another reinforcement how important an email list is.
Yeah, 100%. How would you actually get started with, like, is TikTok ads very different to say like Facebook ads, Instagram? Like, where do the platforms kind of cross over?
Back end for me has been quite interesting because it was very much clearly influenced, shall we say, by Facebook. It was literally the same process. So
Yeah,
back end, I felt that I was fine with setting up. There's been a few kind of hiccups. I haven't had enough experience to talk too much about the outcome. They can work really well for e-commerce, TikTok ads and shops and things on
yeah,
TikTok as well. At the moment, we're just testing with a client with some awareness, and she's had a little bit of organic kind of success. So we're just literally dipping the toe in the water. I'm testing my own self and a client. We're just seeing what works really, and kind of finding our way together because they are newer, the Meta ads. So we're just seeing what works and what doesn't. We're going to be testing some freebies, and we're testing, she's in the lead up in launch to a free challenge at the moment. So that's the thing we're going to be testing.
yeah.
See the difference as well between kind of the outcome with Meta ads and see what happens.
Okay. I guess it's just constantly changing as well, isn't it?
Honestly, it's so quickly evolving. Like Facebook ads, you mentioned it, you know, when something works, and it's almost like, oh, thank God for that. And then the next week something will change, or you know, you can be running an ad successfully for a little while and then it'll just stop. And it might be the creative is fatigued or your audience is fatigued, but
Yeah.
it's sometimes just for no reason in the world. And it hasn't even reached that many people. It's, you know, it's early days and it'll just stop converting. So yeah, you never quite know what's around the corner. So it is a bit of an ongoing kind of, well, literally a full-time job.
Are there
Hence
any
why I
kind of
do it.
Are there any businesses that it doesn't work so well for, or any kind of, because I guess, like, I know I've seen boosted posts where people are literally just trying to get people onto their
Yeah,
website rather than having kind of a purpose behind it, or like
yeah.
a lead magnet or something. Like, is there anything where it doesn't work as well?
I mean, you're talking there about the traffic objective where you
Yeah,
literally get saying to people, come and check the page. Yeah, I'm just not a fan. I never have been. You know, different ads managers have different strategies, different things they try. There's a very well-known ads manager that recommends using traffic ads to get a taste of what your audience is kind of relating to the most, and then they're much cheaper a traffic ad,
yeah,
and then putting those the testing the results in front of a conversion ad. The difference being a traffic ad is aimed at people that are likely to click on a link, i.e. traffic. So it's very different for a conversion ad where you are, those ads will be put in front of people that are looking to, are likely by Meta to convert, which is sign up for whatever it is you wanted them to sign up for, i.e. like a freebie or a masterclass. So if you're just doing traffic ads, yeah, one of those might stick. And I find it a little bit vanity. Like, yeah, you've got, you know, 20 pence link clicks, amazing. But if no one's doing anything you want them to do,
yeah,
I just don't see the point. And then if they're not necessarily the ideal clients, and if they're not converting to anything, then they're not ideal. So then we're kind of using that audience, those people that have visited that website, as maybe a base for a lookalike audience, and thinking, oh, we'll find more of these people. But actually, were they ideal clients in the first instance? Because ideal clients would convert, they'd take
yeah.
action. So yeah, I'm not a massive fan. And that goes back, like you said, to having that right strategy and that objective from the beginning. And that's where 95% of people use lead ads, or they call kind of different things, but conversion ads, where you're looking for that conversion or that action, that outcome.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be something that people are going to want to click on, because I think
Yeah,
so many people now will literally just scroll past an ad because of it being
yeah,
an ad. Actually, if it's got that hook on there and it's something that you really want, then
Hmm.
you're far more likely to click on it. Like,
Yeah,
how many times have
definitely.
you actually been searching for something and then those words have popped up and you think, oh my God, that's exactly what I
Yeah,
was looking for. I only said that yesterday and now it's popped up in front
exactly.
of me.
Exactly. And I tell you what, I mean, I don't really answer the question what's working right now because it's just no kind of right or wrong answer to that. However, I am seeing some success on some clients' ads with taking it back almost really basic, like how ads were a few years ago, because especially like beautiful graphics, they became so beautiful and so cohesive. Sometimes going really back to basics actually started working a bit more because they were then standing out a little bit more
Yeah,
against the beauty, if you like.
yeah,
So that's been quite interesting. I've noticed that on a few clients' accounts. You know, video we like is normally quite strong. People can see your face, hear your voice, and so forth. But it's not set in stone. I've had clients that are the most, oh my goodness, like charismatic, beautiful personalities. And they've recorded a video. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is gonna fly. And we'll stick it on and it just dies. And the most basic graphic then comes through so that there really is no right or wrong. It's
yeah,
testing all these different things.
yeah,
And then a recent client did a fairly boring reel. And that's just absolutely flown this last week, as opposed to some of the ones that are, you put all this time and effort into it. Same with organic, isn't it? You don't always
yeah.
know which one's going to kind of take off.
Yeah, it's the same with reels, isn't it? Like you
Yeah.
say,
Oh, I
post
know.
a reel on Instagram and think that was amazing. I
Yeah.
put loads of time and effort, and then it absolutely flops. And then one you
Yeah.
put no effort into just goes mad. How does that
Exactly
work?
that. And I think Instagram, I mean, it's so much easier using other people's kind of content and audio, obviously, and going with that. And I just keep
Yeah,
reading that Instagram are kind of pushing original content, original audio. And it is harder. There's more effort that's got to go into that rather
yeah,
than just choosing an audio and
yeah,
running with it. So yeah, I think that's going to become maybe a bit not harder necessarily, maybe take that little bit longer going
yeah,
forward. But yeah,
yeah,
it's all learned and it's all always changing.
definitely. And is it like a seasonal thing as well? Do you find that certain ads work better at certain times of the year?
Um, on the whole, I mean, there's lots to do. Things that are happening in the year might affect ads, but a lot of them like momentarily. Like if the sun is out over the May bank holiday weekends, for instance, people are out of the house, they're doing things and not on their phone as much.
Yeah,
I might see a slight slump. For some clients, again, it's dependent on industry. Some clients accounts like November, December, Black Friday, there's a lot going on. We
yeah,
can really see like cost per lead sneak up a little bit, and the CPM, which is the cost per 1,000 impressions, so how much it's costing us to put those ads onto people's feeds, that might increase over those times. But you just have to kind of ride with it. Like some are also, again, it depends who the ideal client is. But for me, for instance, most of my ideal clients are female entrepreneurs. A lot of those women also mums, a lot of them kind of skeleton work August, for
yeah,
instance. So that the 6 week summer hold. So I sometimes notice a bit of difference around there as well. Other people can fly. Like again, that Christmas New Year period that I was just referring to, that can, can go quiet. But traditionally, the time in between Christmas and New Year, I always schedule clients' ads to go on about the 27th because it's a bit of a lull. Most people have turned off their ads. Most people are done with spending time with the
yeah.
family. So they're sat there scrolling their phones. They're not in work. So they've got more time. And that I found a really, really busy time for. So that's one of the main things I always do with clients. Like we need ads to be scheduled for the
Yeah.
27th.
And I guess like where this whole everybody wants more freedom now, don't they? Like more time freedom.
Yes.
They don't want to be taking on as many one-to-one clients. Like they really want to be able to enjoy their life with the
Yeah.
money that they're making from their business. So this only helps with that, doesn't it? Having things like Facebook ads set up where it's just going to help you to grow your
Yeah,
audience and give you
exactly.
more people to speak to in your mailing list.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, I mean, I would say the vast majority of people, one of their main values or thing they want from their business, the reason they've set it up, their why, is for more freedom and flexibility,
Yeah,
however that looks to you. And obviously that can be very different to each of us. Um, but for me, that is being able to travel quite a lot or work from Spain quite a lot, with who I want, when I like, the hours that I want to work. And it's not perfect, doesn't always work out, obviously, how we want it.
yeah,
But ads can really help just support that, if anything. So if you're, like you said, if you've got a bigger list to market to, you've got more leads coming in, you've got more sales coming in, obviously
yeah,
it takes that pressure off. And I've seen it, I've seen loads of lovely success stories with clients that I've been working with them, for years, and I've seen them progress and be able to
yeah,
leave full-time jobs because they've built up their business enough to be able to do that full-time. I've seen clients follow their dream and move to Spain. Um, not singularly because of ads or anything, but certainly it helped and support that in their launches. So yeah, it's nice. It's a really nice kind of area and industry to be in because you
Yeah.
get to see some lovely success stories.
Yeah. And I guess even though there's all the testing and everything that needs to happen, I think if your business has been around for more than like a couple of years and you've kind of
Mhm.
noticed those patterns of quiet months, busy months, you then know that when you've got some quiet months coming up, that actually because you've done these Facebook ads and you're already growing your
Mhm.
audience, that you are still going to be able to sell
Yeah.
things during those months. So actually, like what might have been a really quiet season before could then actually be quite busy because you could be selling things like programs or notice that actually at that time you can be doing really well with Facebook ads or in the run up to that time be doing Facebook ads that can help you to avoid having those dips
Yeah.
unless they're obviously dips you want to have.
Yeah, exactly that. And if you can, you know, passive income, bit elusive, it seems to a lot of
Yeah,
people, but if you can get to that stage where you are selling semi-passive, passive products to people that are already, you've already paid for in your list, then it's like win-win. It's almost like a
yeah,
magic process. And it's not easy to get to. And I'm not saying that in the slightest, but like, for example, I have a client I've worked with many years off and on, and she runs ads all through the year to her freebie. So she just keeps new people coming into her world all the time. She gives a lot of value, and then 3 or 4 times a year she opens the door to her main program. She does a mastermind or two in the build up, 3 day immersive, which is like a 3 day challenge. She does an open evening. Um, and then she kind of opens doors all through this. She has a really long kind of open door process, a little bit different to what a lot of standard launches do. We've had some really successful, amazing launches this year. We're mid-launch now, and we had one in January, and the next one will be late summer, early autumn. And it's just fab because she's constantly building her list as well,
yeah,
all through the year, which I think is important as well. A lot of people, not a lot of people, a lot of my clients still just come back and do it during the launches. But I think if you can keep them running and keeping your cup filled up, but actually, I'm going to just make sure I follow that up with make sure you nurture people constantly, because if you
yeah,
are paying for ads and you haven't got that follow, that nurture, then you are completely wasting your money. So
yeah,
yeah, do kind of nurture, give value, all the touch points and everything else. And also have the patience with it, I think, as well. I think so many people become almost reliant on the immediate financial return on investment. And sometimes it takes time. Like if
yeah,
somebody 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, it can take time for people make these buying decisions. And it's difficult to monitor the return on investment sometimes because someone can, 12 months down the line could, I don't know, sign up to a £5,000 package. You're not necessarily going to associate or look in the CRM and go, oh, they came from ads a year and a half ago. Brilliant. You don't necessarily do that.
yeah.
So it's not always an immediate thing.
Okay. And what would be the next steps if someone was listening to this and wanted to speak to you about how you could support them with setting up their Facebook ads and like running it, maintaining it, however they wanted to work with you? What would be the next steps? What do you have available that people can dip into?
I'm pretty easy to find, Katie Colella everywhere. There's not many of us. So Katie Colella social.co.uk is the website, but all the usual kind of social media platforms. And there's literally dip in the toe. I say dip in the toe, but it's a really good course on Facebook ads, and it will give you everything you need to set your own ads up. And like I said, that starts from 397 plus VAT. And then this full on ads management, if you just like absolutely hell to the no, not interested, get rid of that, outsource that. And that's where I do everything for you. And then another option I do quite a lot of are VIP days, which I adore because they're really intensive, but you get the tangible outcome in one day. And
Yeah,
that is just you and I together, all day, virtual or in person, teach you a bit about ads, show you around so you feel more confident, because going into ads manager can feel a little bit like learning a new language. It is quite full on. And a lot of people find it really overwhelming. So I try and take a little bit of that overwhelm out. And at the end of the day, you have that ad set up so you can go away and be like, oh, okay, I can see leads
yeah.
coming in. It's all really exciting. So I do quite a lot of those. And I've also just launched a little retreat, a mini retreat in Spain, October this year, with again like a VIP day but times 2 days, and also some WhatsApp automation to go along with that. So lots and lots of different ways.
Amazing. Well, I've put all your details in the comments below. So if you do want to go
Thank
and follow
you.
Katie, make sure you go and say hello. But thank you so much, Katie, for coming on today. And
Thank you for having me.
if you found this podcast episode really useful, make sure you drop me a message, make sure you drop Katie a message, and do leave a review. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this podcast episode. If you're ready to unlock the secrets of building your own personal brand, head over to my website, baileyandrue.com, where you can grab my free Brand Brilliance Blueprint today. It's your roadmap to success in the world of branding. And hey, let's stay connected beyond the podcast. Follow me on Instagram at baileyandrue for daily inspiration, behind the scenes insights, and exclusive content to fuel your brand journey. See you there.